First of all, I want to welcome all the people that are watching on TV to the June meeting of the Open Space Program Committee meeting. And if we could stand for the Pledge Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll get started. And this evening we had a study session in which we interviewed candidates for the position of the committee to the Open Space Program. We interviewed one gentleman, and we are very pleased to report that the members present have selected Mr. John Mayer to be a new committee member for the Open Space Program. John, could I embarrass you by having you stand and approach the podium and just introduce yourself to the 10,000 people that are watching on TV?
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here and received a very warm reception from the members of the committee who interviewed me. As I think you all know, my wife and I are beneficiaries of the Open Space Program in that we have the house on the north side of Horsemill, the only house between Meridian and Thoroughfare, and we're surrounded by open space and greenways. So I thought I needed to sort of give back to what we have the benefit of. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you very much, John, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And the first item of business is the approval of the May meetings minutes. All of you have a copy of the minutes that were prepared and distributed. Make a motion that they be approved as submitted.
I have corrected the header that said meeting minutes to, well, mine says meeting minutes, but yours says agenda, so that has been corrected.
Any other changes? If not, the minutes stand approved. Yes. Motion?
Second.
Any second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Any revisions to the agenda that's been prepared? There being none, we'll go to the next item, which is the reports, the Township Board. Carl?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two, number one, the property that we have been in negotiations with respect to the trail that we want to link from Gage to Ferry. A letter has been sent out by Mr. Ream and to the property owner. And the property owner understands that we are interested in the property and landscaping it so that it has as little impact as possible on the neighbors. I don't personally anticipate any impact because it is going to be purely a foot trail, and that letter has been sent out by the township manager. Regarding the second parcel that we have been looking at, update on that as I spoke to the representative on Friday. And that person indicated to me they were going to get back to one of the adjoining owners who suddenly seemed to understand that the offer that we made sense. And he seemed to be more interested in coming forward with that offer, and I'm hoping to hear back from their representative this week. They indicated they would be getting back to me this week, and I tried calling before I came to the meeting. They were not available. So I'm anticipating talking with them probably tomorrow. We have a very good relationship and an easy person to talk to. So I'm hoping that I can come to the next meeting and say we've got everybody on board. That's my goal.
Thank you very much, Carl.
One final thing, I'm sorry. Cliff, as we're all aware, some of us more than others, if you live on West River, there is a considerable amount of demolition and digging and reconstruction of the water line. The Township Rec Department has plans for using a significant amount of spoil that'll be created. They are building a new field that is north of the sled hill and slightly west. If you drive over there, you will see that it has been clearly delineated as to what is wetlands and shall not be disturbed versus the area where they want to put the field in. That's going to be graded, and anticipate that that project will have a rough grade later on this summer. Any of the spoil that is left over, I spoke with both Dale and Kim O'Farrell, the rec director, and indicated that we might be able to use it on some of our trails to make them a little higher and drier, particularly in the springtime. And they were both very much agreeable to that, and Dale in particular, because that means that much less truck traffic across the bridge. And if we can keep it on the island and use it, that's their preference. So whatever rec doesn't use, we are going to be able to put out on the trail if that's agreeable with the contractor that does our trail maintenance.
Now, when will that be that dirt be available?
I'm anticipating, based on conversations I've had, that it would probably be midsummer, maybe a little bit later. They've already started the project on the north end by Church Road. As you recall, that water line replacement runs from Church Road south to basically the sewage treatment plant. And when they have all the soil that they can use, I think they're going to be glad to turn it over to the Cliff St. Pierre National Memorial Trail that runs through some of the better parts of Grosse Ile across from the the elementary school on Meridian. So I'm hoping that we can do that. And Cliff, we're going to get a plaque for you as well.
Yeah, that's all I need. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. Bert is not here tonight. And if there's anybody that's up on the Grosse Ile Nature Land Conservancy, they had their annual meeting, and I'm sure that Bert has. Is there anything that any committee member here is aware of as far as the Land Conservancy is concerned? If not, then we'll just wait for her report. As far as the beautification, the recreation, Kyle Doobie said was to be here tonight to give Kyle is the new liaison from the recreation department to the open space program. He's supposed to be here this evening. He hasn't showed up yet. When he does show up, we'll break in and have him give us a report. Pam, the beautification committee.
There's a new planter at the entrance to Grow Road, just on Meridian, and it's the newly erected sign honoring the naval history. And it didn't have any planter around it, so I worked with the memorial committee for the airport, and they're covering the costs of the rocks were already available. So I met a crew, a couple of DPS workers, and Mike Duker, airport manager, and we had shovels and we had a load of topsoil, and I was very pleased to see that Mike Duker doesn't stand around and boss these two guys. He got a shovel, and we had to dig up grass that was pretty well embedded in the ground around the sign. But Mike pitched in, and the three guys prepared the bed, and we got topsoil, and I planted red, white, and blue petunias because it is a patriotic sign. And then Carl Bletcher over here was kind enough to donate 6 flats of red, white, and blue petunias, which are on the back side of the sign. So it'll even be more colorful come more sunshine and more rain, but it's in the ground and it was ready for Island Fest.
Now, Pam, who is going to be responsible for maintaining that?
We're hoping to get somebody from, Michelle Babcock is like the township gardener, and she maintains the beds around here, and she's doing the memorial garden behind us here.
So the
And-
township will be responsible for
Yeah.
maintenance.
Anything else, Pam?
That's it.
Okay. As far as the guest report, I received a call from Brian Pollock, who's chair of the Bike Path Commission. They're going to institute a program with the police department to have some seminars on the, call it night lights, and that is riding safe use of bicycles at night along the bike paths. So that's one of the things they're working on. And also they do have another program, but I think they call it the doggy litter bags, which can be put at the entrances to the bike path to take care of the dog messes that may occur. And also they've made it available for us, and we'll have to do some checking at the entrance to our open space trails. So they'll be working on that as well. The next item is the public reports. John, I think you made your report. I think you're all set. Okay, so again, welcome aboard, John. And the next item is the project status. We still haven't received any information on the liaison. I'd like to get this thing has gone on too long. So we got to make an objective that by the September meeting that we have a liaison ready to go to work. So I'll take that on with Bert and make that happen. So we'll start off the new season with this liaison from the school board. As far as welcome letters, well, Woody takes care of the welcome letters for us, that program. He had to go to another meeting. He tells me that he sent out 8 letters this last month, and the letters are welcome. There's a welcome letter, and then there's a copy of the open space guide that's inserted, and that's given to each resident as they move on to the island. In addition to that, I ran off another 500 copies of our open space guide. We were running out, and we made some available for the Island Fest, and there's about a half, 3/4 of a box left in the DPS department. And we usually, oddly enough, the largest user of the open space guides seems to be the local Kroger store, because people, when they go to the shop, and if they don't have an open space guide, they grab one and take it with them. So word has gotten out.
Is there a welcome wagon, Pam,
No
on
more.
Rosedale?
No.
Because that would have been a good way to distribute it also.
Well, we do have sort of a welcome wagon where we do get a list of all new residents who
Well, that's true. We sort of do it, but I mean, that would have saved postage and everything if we could just put it in the welcome wagon.
Oh, that's true. Okay, now as far as action items is concerned, we have the biggest item we have going right now, from a maintenance standpoint, is rehabbing the trails. We've had a very wet spring. I talked to our contractor today from TNT. He says he still can't get in there to spread the chips. So I'm asking you to Pat, if you could take a look through the wildlife sanctuary. The chips are there, And if he can get in there to distribute it without getting his truck stuck, I think he should do it, okay? As far as the Centennial Farms, I don't believe he's put the chips in yet.
No.
I haven't seen yet. I think it's too wet.
Yeah, it's too wet. But if he could back in and go as far as he can without getting stuck and dump them in the low spots to start out with,
I think
it would help.
That's what he's going to do. So.
Yeah.
So
that would help out tremendously.
okay, why don't you? I think I gave you his number, so
Right.
give him a call.
I need his number too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now the other area is I think Bert was going to take care of the not Centennial Farm, but the Manchester Woods Trail, which is our longest trail. And there's areas in there that are still very damp.
Yeah.
Very, very damp indeed. So it might be another 2 to 3 weeks, assuming that we have some dry weather, before Tom from T&T can get in there and spread those chips. And he is monitoring that situation.
Mr. Chairman, this might be a good time for us to mark those sections that are still seriously underwater or wet, so that when we do have the spoil, we can place it appropriately as opposed to trying to guess.
We have
They are
marked them.
Yeah. Now, I don't. The Centennial Farm has been marked.
Yeah, it's been marked, right?
Okay.
I'm
now-
thinking about the Manchester Trail.
Well, I think
Mark mine.
You did.
No.
You did.
I did not.
Could you?
Okay.
Yeah, mark it for. And also, I'll get a hold of Bert. I think she should be coming back from vacation. I think we're going to have to take with some spray paint or something and mark the low spots.
That's what I was thinking, so that we
Absolutely.
could have that changed, make that a
Very
better
definitely.
trail.
That has to be done. It's been an extremely wet spring.
So are we all going to use the same marking process? Or do we all do our own thing?
I think we should use those rods. They're real skinny rods, and you can just poke them in. That's used for
Yeah. It would
plowing
be
snow.
easier for the DTE to know we all consistently mark it the same way.
What?
The green sticks, is that what you're saying?
The rods, the skinny rods that you can put in,
Yeah.
that you use for marking when you're plowing snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see them so much better.
Okay. The green rods. Okay.
Yeah, if we
All
can
right.
find some of those.
Where are those? Look, do you buy them someplace?
Home Depot or Lowe's.
Okay.
Any hardware store.
Yeah,
All right.
any.
Okay. If you and then send the bills to me, and I'll see that you're
But,
reimbursed.
get them tall so you can see them.
Yeah, that has to be done. And but please be aware that the dirt that we've been talking about from the all fall from the work on West River won't be available until late summer, I would assume.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, it looks like we're beginning to make some progress. Some things in there that we have to clean up. One of which is, of course, is the liaison, and of course, the condition of the trails has to be improved, and due to the wet weather. I think that's all that we have. Are there any other items that we want to take care of or want to bring up? Yes, Pam.
I checked the Playscape Trail,
Yes.
and it's well chipped, but I'm noticing a lot of weeds have popped up, and I'm afraid they're going to take over from the chips. And I don't know, it wouldn't be worthwhile pulling every single little weed, and I didn't know whether it's appropriate to put weed killer along the chips. But it looks like there's a healthy growth of weeds popping up in the chips.
Mulching more.
The mulch should take care of that, should it not?
The mulching more that they run over with. Should mow down those weeds.
But they'd go over the chips.
Yeah, it's okay as long as you get them down.
Okay.
Once you cut them down, they'll dry out.
Are there any? There's not a pile of chips there, is there?
No, not left. It's been well taken care of as far as chipping the trail.
All right.
The low spots have been covered, but there are 2 dead trees over the trail.
We'll just get a hold of TNT and you'll go
Yeah.
out there and remove the trees and just move the.
It looks
push them
like a
out.
chainsaw could go on both sides
So
of the
that's what it'll
trail.
do.
Yeah.
It's on the Playscape Trail.
Playscape Trail, about in the middle of the trail. There are 2 dead trees over the trail.
All right. I'll make a note to have TNT take care of that then. Okay.
Who would do the weed whipping?
Oh, jeez.
Does TNT do that?
I don't know.
I don't
We could
think so.
ask him. I don't think so.
I
But
think we'll take a look at it and make a determination of whether.
Yeah, it's a healthy growth of
Okay.
weeds.
A top
Bunch of
tree,
them, yeah.
Playscape Trail.
I'd pull them out of our walkway, but this would take about the whole
All right.
summer to get rid of them.
Okay.
The Centennial Farm they do over there. You know, the neighbors.
Any comments? Any
No
additional
comment- no
comments?
comments.
I'm good.
Good.
Okay, that's a couple of things. Normally, we do not have a meetings in July or August, but that doesn't preclude us from taking any action to remediate any issues that may come up with regard to the open space program. It's just we won't have the formal meeting. So if anything happens, don't hesitate to call, and we'll take care of it one day. I'm looking for, frankly, a successful resolution to our 2 property issues, and hope that it comes out all right. You know, hope we're able to add to. That's the biggest thing, at least from my personal view. So let's hope that we are successful. And the next thing, of course, is to get these trails back in shape. I think that's extremely important. So I want to continue to monitor these trails, and as far as these stakes are concerned, get the stakes and mark the low spots so that Tom from TNT knows exactly where we feel the work has to be done. And I think we should do that as soon as possible. Okay? All right. So we will not have a meeting in July or August, and come September, we will have a full committee. So again, welcome aboard, John. So if there's nothing else, look for a motion.
I motion to adjourn.
Cliff,
Yes?
I had something I just wanted to bring up briefly. I didn't know whether Pat wanted to continue as secretary, but she's been secretary faithfully, and I didn't know whether she might want to be replaced.
Well, that's up to Pat.
If anyone's dying to do it, they can. However, I'm willing to continue.
Okay.
Thank you, Pam.
Okay.
I was going to volunteer if you were ready to give it up.
Oh, well.
I tell you what, let's keep the way things are as of right now, and we can bring this up
Here's a
in
reinforcement.
September.
I'll be a backup.
Yeah,
one
you'll get
one
that.
thing. Now, don't forget, when we meet in September, the Dump the Junk program will be right on top of us.
Right,
All right.
Carol, you and I
Yes.
have to get with
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
So we have to get going. There isn't a lot of work to be done because all of it's done, most of it's done by the township. But I think you get in touch with Lorinda to make sure that everything is come September, you're off and running. Everything is taken care of, and we're ready to go. I think we've selected the date, and that's when
Is that
October.
October 1st?
When is it?
Offhand, I don't know. It's in the minutes
Okay.
someplace.
Well, let's check the
Check the
minutes.
minutes.
Check the minutes,
Yeah.
and we got to make sure that this thing is off
Get
and
the right
running.
date.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Anything else? The meeting's adjourned.